You walk into Costco and you think you're in control. You've got your list, you've got your $65 membership, and you're ready to snag that rotisserie chicken for $5. But here's the reality. From the second you flash your card at that new high-tech entrance scanner, you are walking into a meticulously designed psychological treasure hunt where the house always wins. There are things happening behind those towering pallets that the person scanning your receipt is literally trained to keep quiet about. I'm talking about specific kill switches on your favorite products and pricing codes that reveal exactly when a manager is desperate to offload stock for pennies on the dollar. After 15 years in the retail strategy game, I've seen how these big box giants operate from the inside out. I've analyzed the floor plans, the vendor contracts, and the silent signals they use to move billions in inventory. I know exactly why they just changed the layout of your local warehouse again. And trust me, it's not to make your life easier. You're probably frustrated that your grocery bill is creeping up, even when you're buying in bulk. You feel like you're winning because of the free samples and the cheap hot dog, but you're actually falling for the oldest tricks in the book. But it gets worse. Most members are completely blind to the Death Star hovering right over their favorite snacks. If you don't know how to read the top right corner of a price tag, you're going to walk in next Tuesday and find your must-have items gone forever, replaced by a more expensive version you didn't even want. Now you might be asking, Cody, if these secrets are so guarded, why are you telling me? Because I believe the smart shopping community deserves to play the game on a level playing field. I've spent over a decade deconstructing these tactics, so you don't have to. If you're tired of leaving the warehouse with a $400 receipt when you only went in for milk, stick with me. Before we crack open the vault on the first secret, which involves a banned conversation about that rotisserie chicken, do me a quick favor. If you want to stop being a customer and start being a pro shopper, hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to make sure the algorithms actually show you the truth instead of just another ad. Here's the secret no one wants to admit. Those chickens are actually tracking you. Look at the top right corner of any price tag in the warehouse. If you see a small, unassuming asterisk, you're looking at what employees internally call the Death Star. That little star is the signal that an item has been deleted from the system. Once the stock on the floor is gone, it's not coming back. But here's what the manager won't tell you. When that asterisk appears, the price usually starts a downward spiral that most shoppers completely miss because they're too distracted by the size of the box. You see, Costco's entire business model relies on inventory turns. They need product moving off the floor faster than a forklift in the early morning shift. To make that happen, they use a secret language of decimals. If a price ends in 99, that's the standard retail price. You aren't getting a special deal, you're just paying the bills. But if you see a price ending in 97, that is a manager's get-it-out-of-here price. These are corporate-level markdowns that aren't advertised in the mailers or on the app. It is the single most powerful way to save 30 to 50% instantly, yet employees are instructed not to point them out. They want you to find them by accident, while you're busy grabbing things you don't need. Now you might be thinking, okay, I'll just look for 97. But it gets even deeper. If you spot a price ending in .0 or 88, stop walking. This is the holy grail of warehouse shopping. These codes typically mean the item is a floor model, a last-of-its-kind return, or a manager-specific markdown to clear space for a new season. This is the only time you actually have the leverage to negotiate. While Costco generally doesn't do haggling, if you find a .0 item with a slightly dinged box, a floor supervisor often has the literal banned authority to drop that price even further, just to get the inventory off their books before the Friday night rush. But here's the trap they've set for you. Have you ever noticed that the most essential items, the eggs, the milk, the rotisserie chicken, are always tucked away in the furthest, most unreachable corner of the building? In the industry, we call this the action alley strategy. To get your $5 chicken, they force you to run a gauntlet of treasure hunt items in the center of the store. They know that for every foot you walk, your impulse buy percentage climbs. They've actually studied the floor tile patterns and lighting to ensure you slow down in the center court, where the high-margin electronics and seasonal goods live. I know this sounds like a conspiracy, but think about it. Why is there no signage for the aisles? Why do they move the peanut butter 3 aisles over every 6 months? It's not a mistake. It's a deliberate move to break your muscle memory and force your eyes to land on a new set of products. If you're starting to realize that your quick trip to Costco is actually a scripted movie where you're the lead actor paying for the privilege to be there, you're finally seeing the truth. And it's about to get even more intense as we look at the hidden Kirkland labels. You've probably heard the rumors that Kirkland signature products are just big-name brands in a different package. But the secret employees are banned from confirming is exactly which brands are hiding behind that red and white logo. In my years analyzing supply chains, I've tracked the manufacturing origins of these items, and the reality is staggering. When you buy Kirkland coffee, you're often drinking Starbucks beans at a 40% discount. That Kirkland tuna, it's frequently packed by Bumblebee. Even their high-end liquors are often distilled in the same facilities as global icons like Grey Goose or Macallan. Costco's secret is a legal ironclad agreement. These premium manufacturers are allowed to sell their excess capacity to Costco under the Kirkland label, but they are strictly forbidden from advertising it. If an employee tells you, "Yeah, this is basically Grey Goose," they are technically violating a multi-million-dollar vendor contract. But it's not just about the groceries. There's a massive open secret in the back of the warehouse that could save you thousands, literally. Most people walk right past the pharmacy, the optical department, and the hearing aid center because they assume you need a membership to access them. Here's the banned truth. In many states, law dictates that you do not need a membership to use the pharmacy. You can walk right past that ID scanner at the door, tell them you're heading to the pharmacy, and pay some of the lowest prescription prices in the country without ever paying a $65 annual fee. The same goes for the food court in many older locations, and even the alcohol section in specific states like California or Texas. The employees won't volunteer this info. They want you to feel the exclusivity of the card in your wallet. But the law is the law. Now you might be asking, if they're losing money on the hot dogs and the pharmacy, how are they making billions? The answer is the most guarded secret of all, the membership retention loop. Costco doesn't care if you buy the TV. They care that you renew. Every single deal we've talked about, the 97 markdowns, the Death Star asterisk, the $5 chicken, is a calculated loss leader designed to give you a dopamine hit of savings. That hit is what makes you hit auto-renew on your membership every year. They aren't in the retail business. They are in the subscription business. If you want to truly win, you have to stop shopping with your heart and start shopping with the code. Look for the 97. Track the asterisk. And for heaven's sake, stop assuming every bulk deal is a good deal. Sometimes, the value size is actually more expensive per unit than the grocery store down the street. They just count on you being too overwhelmed by the warehouse scale to do the math. I've spent this entire video pulling back the curtain because at the end of the day, a smart shopper is an informed shopper. You now have the keys to the warehouse. Use them wisely. If this deep dive changed the way you look at your next Costco run, do me a favor. Share this with one person who spends way too much money at the warehouse. And if you haven't yet, join the Smart Shopping with Cody community by subscribing. We're just getting started on uncovering the truth behind the world's biggest retailers.